Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing a mini PC by a company called MeLe or MeLe, and it's the Quieter 4C, which has recently been sent to me, and I'm going to go over the specs of this little PC, how I use it and what it can do. My name's Glenn and you're watching Astrobloke. So this is MeLe's new Quieter 4C PC, which has been sent to me to try out. Thank you ever so much, MeLe, for sending that on to me. And I'm going to be adding this to the rig that's in my observatory and changing that over with the PC that's in there at the moment, which is a earlier MeLe, which was the 2C. What makes these PCs so great for astrophotography is that they're so compact and light, but they have no fans. So there's no air, great big vent holes and things for moisture to get in and cause problems to the PC. The body is what's used as a heat sink. So a lot of people get concerned with these, that when they touch them, they're really hot to the touch. But that's quite normal. They're getting to 60, 70 degrees Celsius. But that's how they're letting off their heat. So it's going to feel really hot to the touch. But what that does for us when we're outside doing our astrophotography is it means no dew is forming on these PCs. Now I've noticed a slight change in the design with the 4C is that you've got this kind of mesh top. And I'm assuming that this is to help dissipate the heat even easier. As I say, I have monitoring programs on my PCs to keep an eye on temperatures and things. Never had an issue, even with the very early model of the 2C. It's never ever failed because of heat. It's always been absolutely fine. I might be lucky living in the UK, we don't get extreme temperatures. If you lived in a much hotter climate, that could be an issue. You might have to think about maybe adding some fins on the top, something to help dissipate the heat more. Or you could add maybe a fan source on the outside, blowing air across to help cool it. But as I say, from where I live, it's not an issue at all. So the MeLe PCs, I've had quite a few over the few years that I've been doing astrophotography. I found these and they've been a real boon to my hobby. So these allow you to get the PC and everything on the unit that you're using. So if you've got like a mobile rig going out in the field, you've not got to carry a laptop around with you. You can use something like this, connect to it through remote desktop and control it, away from it. You're sitting down nice and relaxed. You can do it from your phone, you can do it from an iPad. There's lots and lots of versatility. So I like to run Nina on these. If you look in my description below, I will put links to previous videos I've made of the software I download and how to download it. As I say, I've had earlier versions of the MeLe PCs. I've had the Quieter 2, the Quieter 3, and this is the Quieter 4 PC, the 4C. And this has got the N150 chip in it, which basically is a 4-thread, 4-core, 3.6 gigahertz processor. And that's nice and speedy. It's got DDR RAM in it, DDR5, 16 gig. Which also keeps things nice and snappy. Making a comparison with this with one of my earlier MeLes, the MeLe 2, that runs astrophotography no problem at all. But if I was to put something quite sort of graphically intensive on there like Stellarium, that could be a little bit choppy in its movement. And on Stellarium it shows the frames per second. And I would get, say, 8, 10, maybe if I was lucky, 12 frames per second on the MeLe 2. On this MeLe 4, it's running at 30 frames per second. So everything's dead smooth. So no matter what you want to run, this is going to easily handle it. The only other program I think that is quite demanding on the PCs is SharpCap if you're doing something like live stacking, a live stack, something like that on the lunar or planetary or solar. I've found that that can be quite intensive, but this PC handles it no problem at all. So I'll be putting this back on my rig. I've already had it on my rig testing. So connectivity, it's got loads and loads of connectivity. You can connect to it, it's obviously got Wi-Fi, but you can hard port an Ethernet if you want to. If we look at one end, we've got 3 USBs here, 2 USB 3.2s and 1 USB 2. These are 2 different speeds. One's 5 gigabits per second and the one in the middle is 10 gigabits per second. We've got a USB-C here too, which is also 10 gigabits per second. So nice fast connections there if you need it. None of my Astro gear really needs that kind of speed, but if I'm downloading some files onto a memory stick, that 10 gigabits per second slot is brilliant because it chucks the data over very quickly. So you've got your power in, which is USB-C. You get a power supply with it. But I use a power box on my rigs, and then that's got a little lead that comes off. I put an adapter on that with a USB-C, and that goes in there, so it's all powered from the same stuff that's powering the rig and the cameras and everything. You've got HDMI outs, which is really useful when you're setting up the computer, but I'm going to show you how I use these. So normally when I'm out in the field and I'm out in the middle of nowhere, I'll use Chrome Remote Desktop to connect, or Windows Remote Desktop. Now, in the past, I have had issues where, for whatever reason, the remote part has turned itself off or something won't connect. So I'm going to talk to you in a bit about a solution I've got, and I use the HDMI to do that, and it could be something that you might want to consider. Moving forward for my mobile rig, it's the way I'm going to control it from now on. I don't even need a phone signal, so stay tuned for that. So if you ever look in the description below, there'll be some links to the MeLe 4 PC that you can buy from Amazon. If you use those links, it's no extra cost to you, but there is a very small commission paid to myself, which helps support the channel. So I would appreciate if you use those. I forgot to mention that on the back there is also a little slot there for a micro SD card, so you can also put that in there if you wanted to download some data onto that, or extend the memory, or whatever you could think of that might be of use to you. I've done some previous videos on these PCs where I show all of the astronomy programs that I use and where to download them from, and what I put on one of these PCs to make it work for me. If you look in my description, there will be links to those videos, so please check them out. I know there are many different types of PC that you can get for computers. I'm sure they all work extremely well. One of the reasons why I would recommend the MeLe though is because of the design, the fanless design, the fact it uses its body for the cooling and it gets hot means that you just don't get any problems with dew. Which is an issue in our hobby. You know, our stuff does get wet, and obviously a PC getting wet is not good, doesn't work well. So yeah, I think they're brilliant for that, and I found them to be extremely reliable. I've never had one fail on me yet, so touch wood, it stays that way. So let's have a quick jump on the computer, show you where we can buy these from, and then I'm going to show you how I'm connecting this to my mobile rig and what I'm now using to control it. Okay, so I'm on the Amazon page showing the MeLe PC, and it's £275, but they've got a £25 voucher off at the moment, so that makes it about 250, well, just over, with 49p. And the model I've showing you today is the Quieter 4C N150. Now they have the other models on here, the 3, and they all vary in price. So there is cheaper. If you go for the 3C, that's £180, but you're only getting 8 gigabytes of RAM. It'll be a slower processor, etc. So I would recommend the faster one. after using it, I have noticed a definite improvement in the performance. Now they do an overclocked version. I've not tried this model before, but one part of this concerns me is that these are not fanless. These have a vent on the side, and this vent has a fan in it and will draw in moisture. Now, it might be absolutely fine. It's not something I've been able to test. Maybe MeLe would let me have one to test and I could maybe report back on whether or not that would work well. But I would be concerned with that kind of design that you are going to get moisture into the unit, and over time that is going to cause problems. But anyway, I've put a link in my description below to this, and so if you want to check it out, you can. So I'm outside with the mobile rig, and as you can see, I've got the MeLe PC with a Pegasus Powerbox Advance underneath and everything connected in. This just keeps everything together. Now I've got some trading wires here, and this is just the extra bit that I'm using at the moment for connectivity. I've got a battery pack here that allows you to plug a 240 volt sources, 12 volt sources, whatever it is you're using. So this will keep laptops going for quite a few hours. Really good little battery bank. If I can find the link to the one I bought, I'll put it in my description, but that works really well. But that's basically giving power to this little 8-inch screen, and I've definitely got a link in my description to this. What I'll do is I'll turn it on, and I've turned the PC on as well. So what should happen now is a signal should come to this from the PC, and we should see the PC boot up. And what's really nice with this is if you connect a USB from this USB-C into your PC, it's actually touchscreen. So you don't even need a keyboard and mouse. You can do it all from the screen, which is brilliant. It's now asking for my password, and if you touch the screen, a keyboard comes up, which is really cool. So not the easiest thing to show you here, but I've got to try and hold it. But hopefully you can see that there. It's all touchscreen, and we can get Nina up and running and get the rig going. And there's Nina. And then we can say connect all devices, and Nina will go through the process of connecting everything, the mount, etc. Before now I've always used a laptop to do a remote connection, which has worked great. But having the ability to be able to control the scope just by a touch screen and get my imaging sequence set up is really good. And of course I'm not having to rely on any Wi-Fi or phone or internet connections. I'm literally directly connected to the PC. So once I've got it working, I could disconnect this and go away. I can maybe then remote in to keep an eye on things, or if I want to see how it's going, I can come back and connect this in. But I would actually just leave the rig running for the sequence it's got set up and come back at the end of the night, download the data, and away I go. So this has been a really nice little addition, and I think they're £59 on Amazon at the moment. I was able to get this for 55 because they had a little discount going on. But again, I'll put links in my description so that if you want to look at something like this, you can. What I think is really nice is its touchscreen technology. I think they do larger screens as well. You can get up to laptop size screens. I wanted to keep it small, and I'm going to look for something to put this in to protect it or at least keep the water off should I be out in a very dewy situation, which happens from time to time. So yeah, that's what I'm doing now with my mobile rig and how I'm connecting to it. And I'm connecting directly to the MeLe PC, and I can control it touchscreen through this little monitor. So that concludes my review of the MeLe PC. For the hobby of astrophotography, it's absolutely fantastic, but I'm sure it's got many other uses. Just having one of these, you know, portably around with you, get a little screen. It's very, very portable, and they're powerful little computers. They're really good. I've had no issues with them whatsoever. What I really like about them in astrophotography is they give you that kind of portability and use that something like the ASI Air would give you, but the advantage being you are not tied to just one product make. You can use whichever camera, like for instance an Altair Astro camera here. You can use QHY. You're not tied to just a ZWO camera, a ZWO filter wheel, focuser, etc, etc. You can use whichever make you like. So it opens up a lot more opportunities, and you can use which software you prefer to do your capturing. So you might like to use SharpCap, you might like to use APT, or like myself, Nina, or Sequence Generator Pro. All of them can be added to a mini PC and you could run them. So you can either do it remotely, where you connect to it through Google Remote Desktop or Windows Remote Desktop, or you can connect it directly with a little screen. You can buy wireless keyboards and mice. There's all different ways that you can use these, but they're very versatile. If you like this kind of content, please consider giving me a thumbs up, even subscribing, and click the notification bell to let you know when my next video is out. You can support the channel further by joining my Patreon or the channel with the join button below. And everyone is welcome on my Discord channel. Again, links to that are below. So all it leaves for me to say is thank you ever so much for joining me. Please take care, and I wish you all clear skies.